有3次的是。
哇！
Because really, this today I'm knackered because last night I didn't have it. I don't go to sleep if you want. I can't.
Top 5. And today, guys, we're going to be going over the top 5 worst wonder weapons of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now, if you guys could please leave a like on this video, as I know the haters are going to be out to kill for these ones. That would be great. But, guys, let's get into it. Now, coming in at our number 5 spot, guys, this is going to be the Void Bow. Now, I feel a little bit bad about putting this weapon on the list, because honestly, I like the Void Bow. I think it is one of the most aesthetically pleasing weapons in all of Zombies. It looks so cool. The little like demon gate thing that it spawns when it lets the skull zone is very, very neat. And honestly, the idea of this weapon is probably one of the most innovative ideas I've seen in Zombies. And that's why I feel bad about putting it on this list. But the thing is, it just kind of has to be here. Because let's be honest, okay? We've got 4 amazing bows. I don't know if I want to say 4 amazing bows, but we've got at least 2 really good bows. We've got the Wolf Bow and we've got the Storm Bow. And it's like, why in the heck would you use the Void Bow when you could use the Storm Bow? Have you heard of anyone ever getting to round 100 with the Void Bow? No, it's the Storm Bow. And that's the point of why this is just not really that good a wonder weapon. The Void Bow is cool. I think it's a neat idea, but it's really just not all that effective. And it's just so pointless. Like, why would you use this bow when you could use something just so much better? So really, it's not so much of the fact that the Void Bow is bad. There's just so many better alternatives. And for that reason, I had to put it in at number 5. Now, moving down to the number 4 spot on our list, I don't even know why this is classified as a wonder weapon. It just makes me, it hurts my head. It's spider bait. It's like, what? Spider bait from Setsuko no Shiba? How is this even a wonder weapon? But anyways, it's classified as a wonder weapon. We're counting it as a wonder weapon. It's our number 4 pick. Spider bait is probably, to me, the stupidest wonder weapon. Not even, like, I don't even think it's necessary, but the fact that this is classified as a wonder weapon is absolutely ridiculous. But guess what? It is. Now, the spider bait is basically an ability to transform the character into a spider, which kind of sounds cool, okay? Until you realize what it's all about. So first off, the steps. you have to get the skulls on softplay, and you have to mesmerize all of the spiders until you get one that is the right color. And once you do that, you have to make him drink water. And then you have to pull some voodoo stuff and then inject some stuff out of him. And then he's going to give you the syrup. You drink the syrup, the red stuff, and it turns you into a spider. Okay, whatever. This would all be nice and fine, right? If it wasn't so goddamn glitchy. Like, what the heck is Spider-Man? I have literally seen 18,000, okay, not 18,000, but I have seen so many glitches with this thing where the character pops into it and just falls out of the map, or the character pops into it and when they return back into their body, they just get absolutely wrecked by everything, or they just instantly fall into an area of the map where it's a death barrier, or the zipline stuff, or anything. There's just so many glitches with this. And I'm gonna be honest, like this is the first time Treyarch ever really tried something like this. I can completely see why that happened, but wow, it's just so glitchy. And for that reason, it's our number 4. Now coming in at our number 3 spot, it's the KT4 slash Mezzamune, or should I say the weird version of the Sliquifier, because that's exactly what this gun is. It's literally just a Sliquifier. But the KT4, in all seriousness, it doesn't use it. This is a gun that's just really, like, not good. Okay, when we really come down to it, this thing is just, it's just not good. Okay, the KT4, to build it, it's not too hard. Okay, you go swimming down into this random cave, and you find this scientist guy who'll give you a vial and some stuff from a spider, and okay, you make the KT4. And it's really not that good. And it's really not that useful. You really can't do anything with the KT4. Like there's no point in going halfway on this thing. You're just going to the point where you just get a KT4. So okay, let's go ahead and upgrade this thing. What do we have to do now? Because those last steps were pretty complicated. Oh, okay. So every single person in my team has to do all of their challenges. Wow. That's a bit of a push, but whatever. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get my lightning shield. I'm gonna bash this thing. I'm gonna pick up my liquid Dominion. Okay, is that it? Oh no, there's more. Okay, I have to battle a giant spider just to get his little tooth. Is that a little tooth? Okay, well, whatever. Are we good? No. Okay, there's more. There's more to this still. Oh, I have to go back swimming down to that area again with my skull and on softway, and I have to what? I have to garden underwater with this rainbow pollution 115 water for 3 rounds over and over and over. And if I mess that up once, it's done. And then we're good? Nah, I don't think so. That is way too much work for a wonder weapon that is just not good. And that alone makes it come in at number 3. Now coming in at our number 2 spot, and this just makes me so sad. It's the Wonder Walk. Why? Like why? Why am I even in a position where I have to say this? It's upsetting. The Great Wonder Walk of World at War is just it's no more, and it's really just not good anymore. The Wonder Walk was once a great weapon held in high prestige among the entire zombies community, and not anymore. When they brought it back to Black Ops 3, something happened with the Wonder Walk where it just became absolutely trash. The pre-patch Wonder Walk was the worst Wonder Weapon we have ever seen in the game. It didn't even work half the time. I remember the first time I shot it, it just kind of shoot like air, and it didn't even kill any zombies. It was that bad. But then they kind of patched it and made it a little bit better, and it's still like really bad. Okay, do you guys remember the World at War / Black Ops 1 Wonder Walk, where it was actually How did it surprise me? You won't believe it. Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm just going to bring you a GTA 5 showcase video. Today we've got the Vigilante, which hasn't been released yet. This is one of the 11 unreleased vehicles that is yet to join GTA 5 Online. As you can tell, it is pretty much the Batmobile. It is the Batmobile from back in the day. Not like the new one from like Dark Knight or anything like that. This is one of the old school ones. I would show you in first person, but yeah, I've got glasses on, which isn't too great. But I mean, just look at it. This car is crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, this is in the supercar class, or it's going to be anyway, and it's gonna put you back. This might hurt your pockets. 3.5 million. That's just for the car. You then need the MOC. You need to customize it and all of that. So I'll showcase that today. But I mean, come on, the car is pretty crazy. It's got guns on the front. Let me get out first person. Some tinted. Got guns on the front there and there. Got this massive like jet fan type thing that is mad. The wheels looking crazy, and then it's got this actual jet like thing on the back, which makes you go pretty fast. So yeah, let's get driving the car anyway. Right, yeah, let's just get to driving the car. Get the mouse away. Here we go. That's what it sounds like. Pretty crazy, right? Yeah. But I mean, this car it's got like you can tell, pretty heavy. Not going to be the best for racing if I'm honest. But look, this in online, look at that. The stopping power is crazy. Uh, that was mad. I should probably make my Franklin invincible before I fly out of this thing. Might as well. Yeah, let's make him invincible quick. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm exploding. Okay, maybe not, but I am going to die. Right. I mean, this car, it's pretty long, I'm not gonna lie. It is really long, but you can double clutch. I'm not too sure if I could say that then, but that was the double clutch. Um, Also with this car, oh, you literally clip everything. Like, I'm not even joking, you'll be going down the highway and you'll just be clipping cars left, right, centre. That's what the jet looks like. I mean, it's completely different to the Rocket Baltic, for real. Like, this car looks way better than the Rocket Baltic. It's faster than the Rocket Baltic. It has guns on it, which the Rocket Baltic doesn't. The jet just looks so much cooler. So yeah, if you're trying to decide whether should I just buy like the Rocket Baltic now, like I have the money I've been saving up for it. No, definitely wait for this. I'm not too sure when it is getting released. As I said, there's about 11 unreleased vehicles. So maybe let's just see. I thought it was gonna explode, but yeah, car's crazy. Yeah, as I was saying, there's 11 unreleased vehicles, so this could come anytime. We don't know. I think you can get missiles on this.
it seems to be like there's a space there that I'm hoping for. You need the MOC to customize it, and I'll show you that after. Where you can't just drive into Los Santos Customs with it. But I mean, the car's crazy. I'll show you the thing, you know. Look at that, it's just mad. But yeah, we'll go to Los Santos Customs, get customizing it. I'll show you that you can't customize it in there. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. But we'll just have to use the mod menu to customize it at this point because I'm not too sure how to spawn the MOC into single player and get it all working. Like, I don't know the code, so yeah, let's just drive over to Los Santos Customs. Sorry for emphasizing that, I was literally about to crash. But yeah, as you can see, top left corner it will say you need a mobile operations center with a weapon and vehicle workshop to modify this vehicle. Which is a shame because some people who have saved up this amount of money to buy the car is like, oh, I want to customize it, I want to change the paint job, all that. And it's like, oh, no, you can't. So, yeah. Oh, see, that was crazy. I'm purposely crashing into the people, by the way. I'm not a bad driver. Like, I can drive the car. I just want to crash because the car is so big and it's very powerful. So yeah, like I don't know how. I'll show you the guns. Let's just go down to the beach and I'll show you the power of the guns. No, that was actually bad driving. By that time it was. T-bone, like it's crazy powerful. If you're in a beach chase with this, you're not being stopped. I can guarantee that. But look, here's the guns. What just exploded? I'll show you the interior view as well. Quite seems a bit better interior view than shooting people that I'm not too sure why that is, but oh, I'm in the water. Oh no, I'm not. Oh my god, that was so close. What? What the hell is this? Right, oh, this is actually a good time, right? So the guns are literally pea shooters. Like, look, this should definitely be exploded by now, but it's just not. Let's just wait until it like explodes. There we go. It takes so long. So if you're shooting at someone, you're gonna be there for quite a while. I mean, oh my god. Yeah, it's quite pathetic if I'm honest. The guns on it, but the stopping power is crazy. Oh no, I've messed up now. Oh no, I can get out of there. Before I literally got stuck. So two-wheeling shit. Right, let's get on to customizing this car because that is what you're all here for. Let's see what it can do. Where should we go? Should we go down here? Wait, what the hell is that? A savage? I did not know that they spawn in single player. What is that? That is mad. Yeah, this is perfect right here. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It just completely stopped. It looks like this. And then let's go upgrading it. So if you put wheels on it, it's gonna look pretty dumb. Can you? Oh, you can change the wheel color. That's mad. I did not know that. But yeah, if you put like, I don't think they're gonna allow you, but because I've got a mod menu, I can show you. So this is what it looks like to start. Okay, and then put wheels on. How? Like, what were they thinking? The front looks pretty crazy, not gonna lie, but the back looks ridiculous. So yeah, I probably wouldn't advise doing that. Roof it's got missiles. Oh, yeah, that's pretty sick. So that's no missiles. That's missiles. That's pretty sick. Engine upgrade max, brakes max, transmission max. Let's just do that one. Suspension looks like you got these options. So there's lowered, street, sport, competition, and then race. I'm not too sure if race is still in online. But yeah, let's just go with race for now. Armor, myself, 100%. Obviously, gonna be wanting to tank everyone. What paint would we want? I mean, obviously, there's gonna be loads of people matte black because it is like the Batmobile matte black. Let's see what metal looks good. Nah, not really feeling. Oh shit. That is, I'm keeping that, I don't even care. That looks sick. What does the secondary do? Just to show, nothing. Doesn't do a thing. Is there something? Nothing. It doesn't even change anything. Holy fuck. That one's so sick. I'm gonna keep that. Neons, no. Doors, nothing. Tin, right, so here's black. Dark, wait, stock, right, this is stock right now. Sorry for the glare. So this is stock, limo, stock, light smoke, dark smoke, black, stock, black, dark smoke, light smoke, stock. So yeah, I'm just gonna obviously black it out dark with black because that is just what I want. Nothing under extras, but turbo, obviously no lights, and that is about it. So yeah, this is. Oh yeah, I've just realised I don't really like the colour of the wheels. I don't know what I think. What was I thinking? Just do them black. Actually, I'm sure like if they don't allow you to do this in the MOC, like change the wheel colour, there might be a way to do it through the iFood app, which will be pretty good. Oh, that looks pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, I like that, so I'm gonna keep it. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's what it sounds like now. Actually, there's a bit more of a rasp to it. But look, this car is just so nice. Whoever thought of this idea at Rockstar, props to you, man. Props to you. Yeah, this is just this. Wait, let me get out of the shot. Yeah, thumbnail. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. So yeah, let's take this for a drive. We've definitely got to go on a police and police flipping. I can't speak. Sorry.
Really, nigga?
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, these machine guns didn't get any upgrades. But look, crazy. Got a missile now. That's just Hunter. I'm so sorry, man. Oh my god, there's something in there. Let's just go find some police. Oh shit, that was mad. Well, before it ends, I'll explode the vehicle, okay? I didn't want to do it, but I'll do it. I'll explode the vehicle, show you how many explosions it can take. Because obviously you're gonna hope it can take more than one. It's the Batmobile. He takes loads, doesn't he? So let's get a wanted level. Let's just do a 5-star. it's crazy. It circled back for them, which is a massive advantage. I'm not too sure the capacity on them. Obviously, we'll have to wait for online for that. I've got unlimited, so I can just do this all day long. Oh my god. And never die. So yeah, let's do this massive one. Here's the rocket power now. Quite a heavy car, so you're not going to be going as high as you would in the rocket Volta. Obviously, this is a big fat beast. So yeah, but it looks so much better and cooler, and just everything about it is so much better. But yeah, the rockets are definitely like an upgrade, 100%. Right, guys, I'm just gonna let you hear. I'm just gonna let you guys hear the vehicle, just driving about, stuff like that. So yeah, just enjoy. So I'm back. As you can see, the car's pretty heavy car, if I'm honest. I mean, it's not going to be beating any of the top supercars like the X80, the other supercars I don't know of because I don't play online. So yeah, I mean, I literally have no clue what is the fastest car. I think it's like the new one that came out, like the Jaguar prototype. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, this car definitely a purchase if you've got it. And I think we'll end it here. Right, I guys, gonna end it here. I sort of just messed up pretty much. The card does have invincibility on, and I cannot take it off. And then I went to spawn another one, and yeah, I'm just pretty much messed up my script. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and of course drop a comment on what you want to see next, if there is anything you want to see next, or if you just want to give me some feedback, what I can improve on and all that stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.
So we've got a vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. It's the Vigilante. It's a supercar. It's based off of the Batmobile, and it seems to have split the community. A lot of people are excited about this because it's pretty unique. We've never seen anything like this in the game before, and it obviously has ties to Batman, one of the most popular superheroes of all time. And other people are saying, why does this belong in GTA? It's really getting away from the realism of the game. But regardless, it's going to be a cool vehicle. Now, we've touched on some pretty unique and interesting things about this car, But there's one thing in particular that I think will really make this vehicle awesome. So this tweet came from FunMW2 a couple days ago. He says, you can use the Vigilante during heist, making it special as you can't use the APC, the Rocket Voltic, or the Oppressor. Okay, so this is pretty interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, other rocket-powered vehicles like the Voltic and the Oppressor cannot be used. Whereas, obviously, you can tell the Vigilante does have a rocket boost on the back, which is pretty cool. Also, other weaponized vehicles like the APC cannot be used in heist. However, the Vigilante is weaponized. It has the ability to have machine guns and missiles if you do the upgrade inside of the Mobile Operations Center. So that right there is pretty awesome. So I'm imagining since it can be used in heists, it'll also be able to be used in contact missions as well, which will make those incredibly easy or might make them a little bit useful. So that's really cool, and that's kind of an unsung feature of the Vigilante that you might not have known about. However, this might come with some downsides, and we're going to be talking about that right now. So one user asked, well, for a vehicle that has unlimited rocket capacity, I think it might be worth it. FunMW2 says it doesn't have unlimited rocket capacity. It's limited to 30 rockets in free mode, and then you have to refill. It could be unlimited during missions or heists. So I wanted to test this out for myself. And since this vehicle technically isn't out, I had my friend, we were in a private lobby, we got this vehicle into the game, and I wanted to see just how many missiles I could fire. And the results for this were pretty interesting. So when you fire the missiles, there's 4 on each side, and as soon as you empty all the missiles, they'll like instantly refill. So I was counting them, and if you wanted to count too, we got past 30 and the missiles still continue to fill in my game. Now there is a good chance, because I technically didn't purchase this vehicle and it was just spawned into the game, that maybe it gets unlimited missiles, the ones that you actually buy from the Warstock website. It might be locked at 30, but I still thought that that was pretty interesting, that the test I did right now showed us having unlimited missile capacity, which is kind of unique for a vehicle like this, because when you think about other vehicles that have missiles, like the Ruiner 2000, it's limited to the 8 it has, and then that's it. So would this vehicle essentially put the Ruiner 2000 out of business? Because this seems to be more powerful, it seems to be faster, and if it has unlimited missiles, then it's just way better than the Ruiner 2000. So I guess we will have to officially do this test when it does come out, but I did think that was pretty interesting that on this one right here, it didn't actually have limited missiles, which was pretty unique. Now, FunMW2 also posts on the GTA Forum site, you can use the heist during Vigilante. Now, it has 2 flags, one for increased ramming force, which is apparently obvious. This thing is a brute and can, ram through anything. But it also has a flag for has bulletproof glass. Now, I wanted to test this out as well, and I also wanted to test the explosive resistant with a character inside. And unfortunately, the results were not all that great. So this is a fully upgraded Vigilante, and with my friend Shark sitting on the inside, only 1 RPG was required in order to blow it up. And then for the bullet-resistant test on the glass, it wasn't all that much better either. You could shoot through the glass in a couple of bullets, and 1 shot to the head would instantly kill our target on the inside. So it certainly doesn't have bulletproof glass either. I'm not sure what that flag is all about. Maybe that's something that will be officially changed when the vehicle releases, but for now, it doesn't have that feature at all. So with those 2 things in mind, does it actually make it a good vehicle for a heist if it can't stop bullets from incoming NPCs, and if it can't survive 1 explosive? You don't think this is a very good heist vehicle. You want something a little bit beefier, sturdier, like a Kuruma or an Insurgent. So even though it might have the ability to be used in heists, it might not be the best choice at all, just because of simply how weak this vehicle is armor-wise, which is kind of unfortunate considering what kind of vehicle it's based off of, the Batmobile. Batman trusts his life with this vehicle, and we can blow it up with 1 explosive, and a couple pistol rounds will completely shatter the windshields. So that is definitely something interesting to think about with this vehicle, the Vigilante. Now, 2 other things that I kind of caught on to that I thought were pretty interesting. Number 1 is the rocket booster on the back. It has the exact same effect that the Rocket Voltic does. It will send people flying, which is absolutely hilarious, whether it's players or cops. If you click the rocket thruster button with them behind you, they are going to go launching into the sky, which can be a lot of fun. So it'll be really cool to see what we can do with like full crew lobbies and messing around with stuff like that. But on a more serious note, and something less exciting, This vehicle can't get over curbs. So for this test, I specifically got a non-upgraded one with the stock wheels because I didn't want to have anything messed up. This vehicle is so low to the ground and has such a low profile that it actually can't get over most curbs on the road. You'll actually get stuck on them. So that's something interesting too. This vehicle seems to be stopped by like the simplest of things. As you can see right now, I'm really struggling to try and get over that ramp. I'm just stuck on the curb right there. So again, I'm not sure if that's going to be something you're going to really have to deal with, or if that's just something that happens at slower speeds. But just know the Vigilante is so low to the ground that it'll probably struggle going upstairs, and you're likely going to get caught on curbs and other objects too. But anyways, I thought that was a really cool feature of the Vigilante, the fact that it can be used in heist missions, and also some other things about it as well, that it might not be as strong as we think in terms of being able to resist explosives and resist bullets too. So let me know in the comment section down below, are you still excited for this vehicle? Are you not excited for it? We don't know the exact release date of it, but I would imagine that it's going to be coming out sometime during Halloween. I mean, it's the only vehicle that, logically makes sense to release during that time. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this vehicle, its quirks, some of its cool features, and not so cool features as well. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
There are moments where you want them to feel their best. And with Littlewood's,
Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss Fiddleman here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be doing some buyer beware for the brand new Smuggler's Run DLC content. I'm going to be telling you guys which items you should stay away from, as well as giving you some general warnings on some of the things I don't necessarily love about this update, and might get you in a little bit of trouble too. So we've got a lot to talk about today, so let's not waste some more time, and let's get it started. So, the biggest thing in this update is probably by far the new hangars. That's where everything happens. That's where the missions happen. It's where you customize your new aircrafts. Without it, you can't really do a whole lot in this update. So you have to have a hangar. However, there are a couple things that I would strongly recommend you stay away from, and they kind of bother me with the hangar. Number one, do not buy a hangar in Fort Zancudo. I know it's sexy, and that's like the thing people want to do because it gives you this cool little fancy low-level clearance in Fort Zancudo, but I don't think it's the best move. For starters, number one, the hangars in Fort Zancudo are more expensive than the hangars at LSIA. And the only difference is the location. The hangars on the inside are not any different. So they can't store any more airplanes. They don't have any more unique or special features. They're exactly the same, just different locations. Now, one of the reasons why I prefer a Los Santos International Airport hangar over a Fort Zancudo one is for a couple reasons. Number one, the location to other important things. So my MC Clubhouse, my vehicle warehouse, my CEO office are all located within Los Santos. So wouldn't it make sense for me to put my airplane hangar that's going to be involved in missions and whatnot in a pretty similar and close area in case I need to bounce to one of those things as well? Whereas Fort Zancudo is kind of isolated on the western side of the map between two massive mountains. So it's kind of hard to navigate the aircrafts between them. And also, in case you didn't realize, it's a military base. So there's a couple things that I don't like about it. Number one is there's NPCs everywhere. And if you accidentally hit those NPCs, you do anything to piss them off, you're going to get stars and they're going to start shooting at you. Also, number two, the Fort Zancudo runway and airport itself is very cluttered with things that you can't necessarily fly through, like trees and invincible light poles and sandbags and other vehicles and ramps, whereas Los Santos International Airport doesn't really have any of those. It's just wide open where you can fly and really not have to worry about anything. And probably the biggest downside, in my opinion, to the Fort Zancudo one has to be the fact that there is so many griefers that hang out there. I don't know if it's Fort Zancudo, or I don't know if it's because it's the most expensive hangar that's up there, but if you combine all those three things, the objects, the NPCs, and the griefers, it leads to some pretty difficult times, whether you're just trying to get a vehicle out and enjoy it, or whether you're trying to deliver a vehicle back from a sourcing mission. Everything is about 5 to 10 times harder at Fort Zancudo. So why would you make things difficult on yourself? It's cheaper, it's easier. For me, it's more convenient. Just get a hanger at Los Santos International Airport. It's all around just overall better. Now, a couple things that I'm not a big fan about with the hangers themselves, these are just some things that I wish Rockstar had improved on. I think the customization on old vehicles is a little bit limited. So, for example, if you take a Luxor or a Titan, or you take a Buzzard inside your hangar, yes, you can customize them and they'll become personal aircraft vehicles. You can only change the color, which is kind of disappointing. I wish that you had the ability to maybe do a little bit more. Now, I understand why that might get tricky with older vehicles using new customization, but at the same rate, I wish Rockstar maybe been able to give us a little bit more upgrading. Also, the fact that we can't sell these vehicles is kind of upsetting too. Like, once we bring into the hangar, why can't we sell them? To me, that would seem like an easy no-brainer. I can't tell you how many old Pegasus vehicles I am dying to get rid of, but I can't. I mean, my inventory is so cluttered right now. I think I have like 52 different Pegasus vehicles. It's a mess. So I wish I could sell them. Obviously, I can't. A couple other things about the hangar. I feel like there's a lot of wasted space. Like, it's this massive area with a bunch of like ladders you can climb and rafters you can go around, but I'm not exactly sure what all that space is for. I wish it would have been utilized a little bit better, maybe with more office space or more things to do or more features. I just think it's a little bit too big. And the storage feature is awkward too. So, for example, you can bring in a big plane like a Titan, but it's going to have to go to storage unless you want to clear out half of your hangar floor. And then it's kind of difficult to mix and match all the little planes around it. So that is a little bit tricky. I wish Rockstar had chosen a little bit of a better way in which we could organize our hangar floors. But that's pretty much the only gripe I have with the hangars. I overall think they're really cool and a ton of fun, and I've been enjoying my time with them so far. Let's move on to vehicles. So I want to talk not about the price, because I've been talking about the price in a couple videos by now, and that is subjective. So if you have a ton of money, then price is obviously going to be no big deal. If you don't have a ton of money, then it's going to be a huge deal. But there's a couple things about the vehicles in particular that bother me. Number one is the vehicle insurance. It seems that Rockstar can almost never get this right, as vehicle insurance is so awkward. So you get bad sport points for destroying personal aircrafts now, like a Hydra, and you have to pay 1K for insurance. So what are we supposed to do? Just sit there and watch the guy in the Hydra kill us now? Like, are you kidding me? We get bad sport points and have to pay for their insurance. I mean, it's only $1,000, which is not bad. So at least that is something that isn't too terrible. But at the end of the day, come on, Rockstar. Why are we paying for people that have the ability to shoot us in the face with lock-on missiles? Another thing that bothers me is the drip feed vehicles and how much there is. So I don't have a problem with drip feed vehicles. I do have a problem with drip feed vehicles when there are more drip feed vehicles than the actual content you get on day one. So I think we've got 9 total vehicles, but there's 11 that are going to be coming out over the tunables over the next couple weeks and months. And what's even more awkward is many of those locked vehicles can actually be used and found in the vehicle sourcing missions that you do from your hangar. So that's kind of awkward too. That, I mean, they're in the game. Rockstar just have them locked away behind this little wall, and they're going to be slowly and slowly releasing them. Now, the only other thing I can say about the vehicles is just be careful. They are expensive, and we are going to be getting similar vehicles soon to kind of tie in the drip feed. So, for example, the new supercar we got today, the Grati Vision, well, there's another supercar that's going to be coming out sometime pretty soon. It's going to be the Coil Cyclone. Same with a bunch of the other planes that have similar features, like the ability to land on water or the ability to be weaponized. There's a lot of jets we have in the game right now that are going to be very similar to what's coming out soon. So just be careful. Don't buy everything right now, because there's going to be maybe some vehicles you enjoy more or less that we'll be releasing soon. All right, moving on, let's talk about the clothing and masks. These things rock. I absolutely love the clothing and masks, but there's a lot of repetition here. And I know a lot of people that like to buy everything. You may want to double check before you just start buying away at some of the clothing and masks, because number one, a lot of the patterns are the same, like item from item, but also number two, a lot of the patterns are repeat from gun running. So you'll see a lot of the same, camouflage geometric patterns and shapes that you saw in the gun running stuff. Well, you're now going to see that kind of transform over to the Smuggler's Run stuff. So to me, that's a little bit disappointing. Same with the masks as well. Some of them can be a little bit repetitive, but if you enjoy a lot of variety, then this shouldn't be a problem for you. Now, what I want to do is move on to some things that kind of bothered me a little bit. Number one, the fact that there's no missions, like with import-export and with gun running. I always thought those were a ton of fun, and I could have seen myself having a blast doing them with some of the new missions and stuff like that, with some of the new vehicles. So I'm not sure why Rockstar decided to go against that, not doing missions instead of only having sourcing and selling stuff. Speaking of those sourcing and selling missions, I have heard that they are incredibly difficult. Now, I've only done one of them. I am going to be doing some more later today on a live stream, but I've heard they're really hard. And the one that I had to do was incredibly tedious. Made me go from like one side of the map to another, and basically I had to just grab this package, bring it back to the hangar, go back to another package, bring it back to the hangar. It was a real pain in the butt. So I can totally get behind that the missions are pretty difficult and pretty tedious. And another thing I've heard as well is that the payouts suck. So I'm going to hopefully find this out in a little bit if the payouts are any better or anything like that. But so far, all I've seen is that they're not very good. Another thing that's kind of a bummer is personal aircraft request cooldowns. So this is very similar to the interaction menu that we use to call in our vehicles. You can call in your personal aircrafts now, except the cooldown time is really long, and instead of placing it right in front of you because they are aircrafts, a lot of the time they're placed not even in front of you, even if you're standing on an airport tarmac. They're going to be placed on like the other side of the world, which is kind of disappointing. So this system doesn't work all that great. I think it was a good try, but there's still a lot of bugs with the delivery system that I don't all that enjoy. And then last but not least, the only other two things that I'm kind of bothered about, no new weapons and no new haircuts. We got a ton of other cool stuff, vehicles, clothing, tattoos, but really we couldn't get one new haircut and we couldn't get one weapon either. To me, that's just a little bit disappointing. I would have loved to have gotten something new like that in this update, especially considering how massive it was. Would it really have been that hard to add another weapon or another haircut? There's a lot of fighter pilot haircuts that I think would be pretty cool for both the men and the women. So it's just kind of unfortunate, but again, that's just kind of me nitpicking at this update. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy, and hopefully you learned a thing or two about maybe some of the items that you don't necessarily want to buy going forward in Grand Theft Auto Online. My goal, as always with videos like this, is to hopefully tell you about maybe one item that you should stay away from, or one thing that you need to be aware about, and if I've done that, then I definitely consider this video a success. If you did go and enjoy, a like rating would of course be awesome, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, where we like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss Fiddlin here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be telling you guys about some pretty cool features and details of the unreleased vehicles. So I'm only going to be talking about the 3 cars today, as I feel like I did a pretty good job of covering all the unique aspects of the aircrafts in a video I did the other day. And to be very honest with you, there isn't a whole lot of unique aspects that Rockstar can do with the aircrafts. They can more so do that with the vehicles. So we're going to be looking at the 3 remaining unreleased cars: the Vigilante, which is the Batmobile, we have the Coil Cyclone, and then the Rapid GT Classic. So let's actually start with one of the supercars that's going to be arriving, the Coil Cyclone. Now the first thing you need to know about this vehicle is it's completely electric. So that's cool for a couple reasons. Number one, we don't, I think, have any electric supercars in the game. And number two, we don't have many electric cars in the game in general. So this car automatically is pretty rare based off of the company it's in, but because this vehicle is electric, it is completely silent. I am not even joking. So you can't hear the engine, obviously, at all. The only thing you'll hear are like the tires skidding and stuff like that. I'll let you guys take a listen to it right now. It's pretty crazy. So something like this from a supercar definitely takes some getting used to when going from the XA21, which essentially is growling at you the whole time, to this, which is completely silent. I mean, you can hear a feather drop while driving this car. So it is definitely something to get used to, just in terms of the way a car drives, because when you press the accelerator and brake and everything like that, you expect to hear a ton of different noises. And in this car, it's very quiet, which is really unusual for a supercar. So that's kind of the first thing that made me kind of, turn my head a little bit with this vehicle. All right, moving on, let's go to some of the customization. Now, I'm not going to be discussing like what customization looks the best or is the best. I did a live stream on that. However, one thing that is bothering me about this car is you're unable to remove the rear carbon diffuser. I've never liked it when Rockstar have made permanent options on vehicles that should be customization options. So on the back of the Cyclone is a permanently fixed carbon diffuser, and I personally don't think it looks good. And I would love the option to take it off. However, I don't have the ability to. Rockstar did that with the Itali GTB Custom as well, and I'm not a fan of it. So I'm not sure why that's the case, but in case you don't love carbon items or carbon diffusers, there's a lot of carbon fiber on this vehicle, and you might not be a fan of it necessarily. So that is something you actually cannot remove. Now, this car does have liveries, which I think is pretty unique. I think there's about 8 or 9 of them in total. Now, one of the unique things about these liveries is it actually changes more than just the exterior paint job. If we take a look at the back, you can see the engine kind of valves, tubing, and piping. It is actually changed based off of what you do to the livery. So, for example, with the white stripes one, those pipings become white. If we change that to red, they become red, blue and blue, black and black, etc. So I think that's pretty unique, and that's a nice little extra feature that the livery does to the Coil Cyclone. Now, let's move on to the paint job of this car. So there's 3 colors, primary, secondary, and trim. The primary color, very self-explanatory. It just changes the exterior color of the car. Nothing unique or different there. However, the secondary color is very unique. So the secondary color obviously changes the secondary color of the exterior, but it also changes a couple other things. Number one, it changes the color of the brake calipers, which I think is actually pretty cool. So if you want to do like a funky colored brake caliper, then you probably want to do an exotic secondary color to go along with it. Now, another thing it changes is the trim color on the inside of the car. So there is a separate category for trim color, but if you want to change the actual trim on the vehicle itself, well, you're going to have to do that with the secondary color. Now, that's not the only thing the secondary color does, as it will actually change the entire color of the engine piping and valves itself. So as you can see here, I'm rotating between orange and ultra blue, and it actually changes the color of them, which is pretty awesome. So I love the fact that Rockstar is giving the secondary color here different things to do on the vehicle, which can lead to some very, very unique customization options. So I do like that a lot. And if you change the secondary color and then add a livery on top of it, well, they'll kind of just stack on top of each other, which again is pretty cool. Now after that, you do have the trim color, which just changes bits of the inside. You can kind of see it does some effects on the steering wheel, the dash, more of like the glove box area, and on the sides. So that is pretty cool, and those are the 3 colors for this vehicle. Now, if we move on to the wheels of this vehicle, they can actually not be changed with the iFruit app. Because guess what? They're chrome, and whenever a vehicle has chrome wheels as its stock, it can't be changed with the iFruit app. So unfortunately, these wheels are cool, but there's no way in which you're going to be able to change the color like black or white or something like that. That's kind of unfortunate. Now, something else I can tell you guys about this is if you want to change the window tint of your car, well, be careful doing that, because if you do, it's going to tint that entire back window that shows off that beautiful engine with the coil riding logo and all the colored piping and whatnot. So unfortunately, if you want, tinted side windows, you're going to have to sacrifice that view in the back, which might make people not want to do that. So just be careful if you are tinting the vehicle, as if you do so, you're going to lose access to that pretty cool view in the back. Now, the last thing about this vehicle that's kind of driving me crazy is the license plate. So it's actually squished horizontally. So the Ardent had this same thing. It was stretched horizontally. This one is smaller horizontally, and I don't know why. Why Rockstar can't just do a normal looking license plate, I'm not sure. Maybe this has something to do with the real life variant of this car, which is, I believe, the Remac Concept 1. So if it does have a squished license plate, then I guess that makes sense. But to me, it just looks a little out of place compared to some of the others. But that is all the secret details and features regarding this new supercar, the Coil Cyclone. All right, let's move on to another vehicle, and that is the Rapid GT Classic. So the first thing I noticed about this beautiful vehicle is the custom interior. The wood paneling, the dials, the gauges, everything like that is really exquisite. Rockstar did an amazing job with this custom interior for this car. However, probably my favorite feature is those 4 yellow lights in between the 2 gauges. So when you turn off your vehicle and when you get in the vehicle for the first time, you'll actually notice that each individual one lights up depending on what you're doing, starting the engine, killing the engine, and that's just a really little detail, but I found that to be ultra cool, and I think that is a super cool thing that Rockstar has done, and for me, the little things often make the car. So that's a nice added bonus for this vehicle. Okay, moving on. This vehicle has a lot of liveries, which is awesome. There's two in particular, though, that something bothers me a little bit. Now, this might be my OCD just kicking in, but on the Zero Gas black and white, on the passenger side, the Zero Gas logo is cut off because it's on one of the, like, hazard side lights. So why is that the case? Because if we go over to the driver's side, well, it's perfectly aligned. So this is the same way on the white one as well. This is not the first time we've seen Rockstar kind of mess up on liveries like this. A lot of the import-export vehicles like the Comet Retro Custom, the Nero Custom, had livery errors like this as well. So this doesn't seem to be a trend that has stopped as they have continued this on this vehicle. Again, that might not bother you at all, but it is something that bothers me. So if that does end up bothering you, then you probably don't want to apply that livery, as if you look at it on the passenger side, you'll definitely be able to tell it is slightly different. Now, this vehicle also does have three colors: primary, secondary, and trim. However, there isn't anything unique. Primary and secondary stick to the outside of the car and don't really change anything, and then trim color just impacts the interior. The only thing the secondary color is going to do that might be unique is the color of the roll cage. So if you wanted to change that, it is going to match the color of the roll cage. But other than that, pretty simple colors. And as far as inside the customization shop, the only other thing you might need to be aware about is the wheels. So you might be looking at those stock wheels and say, whoa, those look similar. I wish I could change the color of those. Well, you don't even have to do any fancy iFruit editing, because if you go to muscle and then go down to muscle free, you'll notice that they are the exact same wheels, and then you can change them to whatever you want and then add custom tires to it as well if that's something you wanted to do. So that's pretty simple, and that's how you can change up the stock wheels for the brand new Rapid GT Classic. Now, something else I really like about this vehicle is two unique things regarding the lights. Number one is that all the lights actually work, which is kind of ironic that I'm actually having to say that, but sometimes Rockstar will add extra lights on these vehicles and then not allow them to work. So you can choose normal lighting, and then you can choose the bright lights, and you'll actually see the bright lights turn on, and you get extra lights with the vehicle, which is, again, another feature that may seem silly, but I actually enjoy, because sometimes Rockstar ignore that, and that actually kind of bothers me. And then there's actually a customization feature where you can cover up the headlights, and I was wondering to myself, well, does this actually work? And yeah, it does, because if you apply that feature, and then you go and turn on the lights, well, you'll notice that with the regular ones, they don't turn on. You actually have to turn on the brights in order to get any lights that function with this vehicle with that customization option. So I thought that was pretty cool and very unique, and it made this vehicle just have a nice little touch that I thought was going to be really cool. I actually can't wait for this vehicle to be added into the game. All right, and finally, but certainly last but not least, we have the Vigilante, which is the Batmobile. So a couple things about the Batmobile that you need to know about. Number one, it is not bullet resistant. So the glass on there is not bulletproof. You'll be able to shoot through it like nothing. However, it does come stock with bulletproof wheels. Now, it does have the most unique tires on there, probably out of any vehicle we've seen, but they're bulletproof by default, which is actually quite nice, so they can't be shot out by police, NPCs, or other players. Unfortunately, this vehicle is not armor resistant, though. Even though it is massive, it is menacing, it cannot survive a sticky bomb, which is a little bit unfortunate. I thought it would have at least been able to survive one, but I guess at the end of the day, it's not an armored vehicle. However, probably the biggest bummer with the Vigilante is the fact that it needs a mobile operation center in order to be modified, which will already increase the already expensive cost of this vehicle. So if you don't have an MOC, you won't really be able to upgrade the armor, the basic things on this vehicle. Now, there's not a ton of upgrades for the Vigilante. You can't add any bumper, spoiler options. The only thing you can do is apply the basic upgrades: armor, transition, engine, stuff like that. However, you can upgrade to missiles. So by default, the vehicle has 7.62 machine guns on there. You can actually upgrade to homing missiles, which is really cool. Now, one unique thing that we actually found about this, my friend Shark and I, is that it looks like it has unlimited missiles. Because when I was just shooting them, they just kept refilling over and over and over again when I ran out, which might actually make it a little bit different from something like the Oppressor or the Ruiner 2000, which had a very limited amount. So as you can tell already, the Vigilante has a boost on the back. Now it seems to regenerate faster than the Oppressor and faster than the Rocket Baltic, and when it regenerates, you'll actually know that it's complete, as the flame in the back will turn completely blue. So if you don't want to try and pay attention to that tiny little yellow bar in your minimap, you'll know it's ready to rock and roll once it's fully blue again. It also will only regenerate when it is on the ground and when all four wheels are on the ground too. So if you're upside down or part of your wheels are on a car, it won't start to regenerate. And the last two things I love about this vehicle are kind of cosmetic. One of them is the interior. It looks absolutely amazing. It's got like these different gauges and dials and screens that are all bright red, which look really, really great at night. So I think the interior looks amazing. And then the lights too. So they're sort of these retro pop-up style lights, and they look awesome, but they're also flush on the vehicle as well. So what I mean by that is you can't really tell the lights are there until they actually pop up, which is really cool. Another great feature I love about this vehicle. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy, and hopefully you learned about some pretty cool features of the upcoming 3 cars that could be released within the next couple weeks, could be released within the next couple months. We don't really know the release order, so it's going to be up to Rockstar to determine how they release it and when they release it. But that's, like I said, all I've got for you guys in this video today. Let me know which of these 3 is your favorite in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be telling you guys why you should not buy the brand new Ocelot Ardent, the newest vehicle to be released in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm going to be talking about its cool features and quirks, but also mainly things that I wish Rockstar had done better with this vehicle, and things they could have improved on to make it a vehicle that would have been a little bit more worthwhile. Now, in case you still watch this video and say, Mr. Bostowin, you're a dummy, I don't care what you have to say, I am still doing a shark card giveaway for $1.25 million for the Ocelot Ardent. So that is going on my Twitter account. I will leave a link to it in the description. All you have to do is go follow me on Twitter, retweet the tweet, and boom, you're entered. I'll be selecting the winner on Friday, which is a couple days from now. So when you're likely watching this video, you've still probably got a couple days to enter, and one of you guys is going to be walking away $1.25 million richer. And you can use that money to buy the Ardent or do whatever you want. I don't care, but because the new Ardent here is released, we are going to be doing that shark card giveaway. So links to that in the description. So let's get this thing started. And with every new vehicle, we always have our barrier to entry. That barrier to entry is price. Now, the Ocelot Ardent's price is not all that bad. On the Warstock Cash and Carry site, which is the website in which it's available on, it's $1,150,000. Now, that price will only get the vehicle to your doorstep. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, if you want to apply the performance mods to these vehicles, we actually calculated your new total. So if you buy the vehicle and put all the max performance upgrades on there, which is bulletproof tires, turbo, transmission, stuff like that, your new price will be $1,393,500. So getting a little bit more pricey. And then this vehicle also has a pretty great amount of customization. Bumper options, spoilers, stuff like that, things you can do to the hood. So you could easily make this car $1.5 to $1.6 million with all the sort of customization you do. So this $1.1 million vehicle just became a little bit more expensive when it's all said and done. So that right there is the price, a little bit of the customization. I won't be going into the specific details of the customization as I did that on my live stream earlier in the day. I'll leave a link to that in the description too. Now let's talk about the armor capability of the Ardent. Is it worthwhile and is it useful? So even though this vehicle is available on Warstock Cash and Carry site, it's not armored. So the glass on the vehicle itself is not bullet resistant. It is not bulletproof. It does have a sunroof too, which you can actually shoot through. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But regardless, there is no bullet protection that comes from purchasing this vehicle. If you get shot in it, you're going to die. Same with explosives, whether it's a sticky bomb, an RPG, or a grenade, you're going to blow up with one of them. It doesn't protect against anything. So that really leaves us with one potential good thing with this vehicle, and that is the 2 machine guns on the front. Are they any good? And unfortunately, the answer to that is still no. Very similarly to the Night Shark, the machine guns that are put on the front of this are basically just giant pea shooters. So good luck killing anything with this weapon system on the front of this car. If anything, it should be used as a last resort against players only, because there's no chance you're going to be able to kill vehicles with this. It's just not going to happen. So you can see us really struggling here trying to kill this vehicle, and even unarmed, unupgraded NPC cars off the street have a pretty difficult time actually doing any damage with this vehicle, the Ocelot Ardent. So the guns are pretty worthless to say the least. They also don't go away like with the Night Shark. So, for example, when you don't have the guns equipped, they kind of like go up into the vehicle. Not the case here. They're always exposed, and some people may not like that. And also, with this vehicle, you can also use your other weapons too. So if you had the Night Shark and some of the other armor on there, you wouldn't be able to use some weapons. However, with the Ocelot Ardent, you can use every weapon in your available suites, as well as the machine guns on the front. So I guess that is kind of a nice bonus for this car. But at the end of the day, the guns are so bad, they honestly aren't even worth it. All right, let's move on and talk about some cool features that I actually do like about this car. Number one is the lights. I think the pop-up headlights are awesome. However, the extra set of lights that can be found on the bumper do not work. Why Rockstar once again decides that extra light shouldn't work is beyond me. It could have made this car really cool, had some nice high beam features, but no, that's not the way they want to do things, so only the pop-up headlights on this vehicle will work. I mentioned a little bit earlier that the Ardent has a sunroof. I think that's pretty cool because there's not a lot of cars in the game that has a sunroof. And if you park it kind of at sunset or you're looking up at the buildings, you can get some pretty cool views. Now, one thing you do need to be aware about is if you change the tint of your windows, the sunroof tint will change as well. So just keep that in mind if you don't want to block your view looking out of the top. The interior is pretty cool as well. I believe it's a custom interior for the Ocelot Ardent that isn't used in any other vehicle. We don't have a lot of Ocelot cars in the game, so having a nice, unique interior is pretty cool. One thing I don't love about the exterior of the car is the front license plate. It seems to be abnormally long, and I don't know if this is a feature of older British cars like this, or if this is something Rockstar just did for this vehicle, but to me it looks kind of awkward and stretched out, so maybe you guys have noticed the same thing. If you have, let me know in the comment section down below, but that's one thing I didn't really love about this vehicle. Also, if you open up all the doors, you'll notice you can open up, obviously, the passenger and driver door, the trunk, and the hood. And in the trunk, you'll actually find a spare tire. Now, one thing I tested on my live stream is if that spare tire would actually change to other tires. So, for example, if you made a modified tire, would it also change underneath the trunk? And the answer to that is sadly no. The tire in the trunk is not dynamic. It is always going to remain the stock version. So if you want to keep the symmetry going, you might want to keep the stock wheels on this car, as if you change it, you're not going to be able to change the one underneath the hood. Speaking of that, can you change the stock rims of the car to a different color? The answer to that is also no. That would have been really cool, as I feel like the stock wheels on this car look amazing, but unfortunately you can't change their colors, so there's no way to make it white or black, or any color that you might have specifically wanted to go for here, so unfortunately there's no way to modify the stock wheels using the iFruit app. And the last thing you need to know about this vehicle, because I don't think Rockstar make it that known, is that you can actually apply liveries to it in the Mobile Operations Center. So all the upgrades are done in the Los Santos Custom Shop, but if you want to put liveries on this vehicle, you have to do it in the Mobile Operations Center. And there's 21 available, just like on all the other weaponized vehicles like the APC, the weaponized Tampa, the Night Shark, and so much more. So I thought that was pretty cool, as some people may have ended up forgetting that they could actually do that on this sort of vehicle. Alright, so now let's move on to the big question, and the thing that everyone wants to know about this vehicle: is it submersible? Can it actually swim? Does it function like the James Bond Lotus from the movie in the 70s, The Spy Who Loved Me? And the answer to that is no. Now, this is something I think Rockstar could have done to make this vehicle amazing if it had the ability to swim underwater like a submarine. But the answer to that is no. And it should have been pretty obvious. I tested this on my live stream earlier, but no. If you bring the Ardent into water, it's going to die just like any other vehicle, and it's going to sink to the bottom. So even though it is based off of the James Bond Lotus from that movie, which could transform into a submarine and could transform into a submersible vehicle, the one in online cannot. So if you see your friends saying, you can drive this vehicle in water, just know that you can't actually do that, and if you do, it will be destroyed, and you're going to have to pay the insurance for it. Now, speaking of that, that's a great segue into finding out what the insurance is. The insurance for this car is actually kind of pricey. I was a little bit surprised. So if you destroy your own Ardent or you destroy another person's, you're going to actually have to pay $14,375 for the insurance fee, which is a little bit more pricier than I thought, considering the vehicle is really only $1 million to buy. So again, be careful if you see an Ardent on the road. or just be careful with it if you decide to drive it in the water. It is going to set you back a little bit of cash if you want to get it back. Now, moving on, let's talk about the performance of this vehicle. So, what's actually pretty interesting is, according to racing YouTuber Bruppy, it's actually the third best sports classic vehicle in its category, which is actually awesome. I love when vehicles are added to specific categories and they become competitive with the other top vehicles. However, what we need to talk about here is the Ocelot Ardent can't actually race. You can't use it in races. How dumb is that? Because it has these two pea shooter guns on the front, we can't use this beautiful classic James Bond Lotus inside races. That stinks, especially because of how awesome this vehicle is. Same with the Night Shark. The Night Shark was a really quick vehicle, but because you can't use it in races, it almost seems worthless. So the same thing kind of applies here to the Ardent. It's amazingly quick, handles really well. It's the third best sports classic vehicle, but we can't use it in races. What the heck, Rockstar? That seems like kind of a bummer. Could you not have just disabled the machine guns on the front for the races? That would have seemed like an easy thing to do, but regardless, don't buy this vehicle if you expect to use it in races, because you can't. You're going to have to create your own, like something we do, like our lighthouse runs and Chiliad climbs. It's really the only way you're going to be able to enjoy this vehicle. So it's basically locked to free mode only. So that right there is the Ocelot Ardent. Let's talk about if this vehicle is worth it. And the answer for me personally is no, it is not worth it. So when it's all said and done, you're going to be spending around $1.6 million, maybe even more on this vehicle. And something else to note is I actually had to buy this thing twice. So I was on my live stream, and this thing literally disappeared from my garage, my inventory. It wasn't in my bunker, wasn't in Moore's Mutual, wasn't in my MOC. So I actually had to buy this vehicle and upgrade it twice. And a bunch of other people have been reporting on that as well, that their Ardents have been disappearing. Now, if that does happen to you, obviously contact Rockstar Support. Make sure you get your money back. But anyways, getting back to the price, it's expensive, and it doesn't do a whole lot. It's not armor resistant. It's not bulletproof. The guns on the front suck. You can't use it in races. It isn't submersible. It can't swim. Just about the only thing this vehicle is good for is being a unique free mode sports classic vehicle. So it is pretty quick, and it does have the guns that you can kind of use as a last resort. But at the end of the day, is that really worth $1.6 million? The only way I would say you purchase this vehicle is if you enjoy it for what it is, a classic James Bond Lotus vehicle that you just really enjoy. But if you want to use it for its armor capabilities or its weaponized abilities or in races, well, you're going to be very disappointed because it can't do any of those things all that well. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Ocelot Ardent? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's not worth it? I'd love to hear from you guys down there. Have you bought it? Do you regret it? Are you going to sell yours because you don't like it? Well, like I said, let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comment section down below. Once again, quick reminder, I'm doing a shark card giveaway. Links to that is in the description too. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, where you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mr. Boss for the win, and welcome back to another Grand Theft Auto Online live stream. Today, we are doing the best Grand Theft Auto Online vehicles that you can buy for under under $500,000, I should say. $50,000 would not give you a lot in this game. So welcome back, everyone, to another live stream. Today, we're going to be checking out the best Grand Theft Auto Online vehicles you can own, customize, and more for under $500,000. We're going to be checking out some vehicles with some amazing customization, some great upgrade mods, and a whole lot more. Some vehicles you wouldn't have even thought of that are really cool. That's the whole purpose of this series, to check out some of the best vehicles that you may not necessarily know about online just because of the price. You might see the price and you might say, well, that's, it's not that expensive. It must not be that good. I'm going to try and prove all of that wrong today. Welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you guys are enjoying today's stream, be sure to drop a like rating. That would be awesome. If you guys do drop a like rating on the video, let me know you did so in the chat down below, and I will be sure to give you a shout out on today's stream. That's the only way to get a shout out on the stream today is if you drop a like. XCon, thank you for liking it. Galaxy, thank you for liking it. Everyone who sent me a message in game. Ready Made, Nicklev. We've got P Game, GTA Slayer, thank you for liking. Insane Gamer, thanks for liking. Very cool, guys. Very cool. Let's get some from the chat. Jamie, thank you for liking. Cooper, thanks for dropping a like too. Stephen Black, thank you for liking. OG, thanks for liking. Matt Robinson, thank you for liking as well. I really appreciate it. Let's get out of this outfit. This is the benefactor outfit from yesterday. So let's put on our boss outfit. There you go. That looks a little bit better. All right, we're looking a little bit more natural. What's up, MC Sniper? Thanks for liking. Cooking Vlogs, thanks for liking. Bunny, thank you for liking too. Stackable Wolf, thanks for liking. Big Joshua, thank you for liking, guys. Once again, if you want a shout out on today's stream, what you have to do is drop a like right now. Let me know you did so in the chat down below. We got Rex, thanks for liking. Nathan, thank you for liking too. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. Again, today's theme is going to be the best cars you can buy, own, and customize for under $500,000 in Grand Theft Auto Online. So we've got a few rules to go over, and I've actually got to go to my garage. So I'm going to explain all the rules while we're on the way there. Now, I'm also going to let you guys know that I am giving away a shark card to the winner. So you can ask the winner of the first two streams, Lud and Harry D. They both received their shark cards. And what's pretty cool about this is that Harry D, the winner of last night's car show, he actually got bonus money because he was a selected member. So he got more than $500,000, but I'm giving away $500,000 to one lucky person of the winner of this car show, who I deem brings the best overall vehicle and character. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Let me dive into some of the other rules as well. The price of the vehicles must be between $250,000 and $500,000. So this time you've got $250,000 to play with. They must be above 250K, but below 500K. Now, if it's at 500K, that is okay. I am also not including the price of customization. So if your vehicle's 500K, you're good to go. You can do any upgrade you want on the car. Now, something else I need to talk about is discounts. Now, it'll be easier if I go in here and show you what I'm talking about as far as discounts go, because that might actually be a little bit confusing. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. Farmer Don, thank you for liking. Rares the Gamer, thanks for liking too. Titus, thanks so much for dropping a like. Kana, thank you for liking as well. Randy Lucas, thank you for liking, my man. Really appreciate it. We got Appman, thanks for liking. Callum, thank you for liking too. So let me tell you guys what I mean by discounts. Let's actually go to Southern San Andreas right now, because I think there's actually a pretty good example of this. Okay, so you see how the trophy truck is originally $550,000, but because it's discounted, it's $412. I'm still not. Do not ignore the discounts. So pretend like the discounts are not there, because these discounts are temporary. And I don't want someone that comes about watching this video in like 2 or 3 weeks from now saying, well, that's stupid because now the Vapor Trophy truck is $550,000. It's not under $500,000. So the rule is ignore the discounts, okay? So this trophy truck is actually $550,000. Ignore that. And as far as everything else goes, your prices need to be between $250,000 and $500,000. So if it's right on $500,000, you can bring that. If it's right on $250,000, you can bring that as well. I'm giving away $500,000 to the winner of this show today. I believe we have a full lobby, and I believe we are also on the PS Afola. We are today. Let's check if we got a full lobby now. We do. So we got everyone in here. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So now we need to check out which vehicles are under $500,000, the best ones. We're getting into more of the super and sports cars today, which is great. Are there any planes that you could bring? Let's actually see here. Not that I encourage anyone to bring a plane, but you could bring a Mallard, you could bring a Duster, you could bring a Mammatus, a Velum, and that's it. So if you wanted to bring a plane, don't recommend it. You can bring the Mallard, Duster, Mammatus, or Velum. Moving on over to Benny's, we'll do that really quickly. Now, remember, I'm not including the upgrade price. So that means you could bring a vehicle like, well, is it any, actually? I don't think there is. I don't think there's a single Benny's vehicle that applies to. There isn't. There is not, because there's not a vehicle that's under $500,000 but above $250,000. So that right there completely eliminates all Benny's cars. That is nuts. That is cool. Okay, very, very interesting. So we've got that right there. Let's go to Legendary Motorsports. This is where we're going to get a good chunk of vehicles today, which is pretty cool. So all these are eliminated so far. Let's start with the, what would it be? The armored version, well, no, because the armored version is more expensive, so never mind. So we're starting with the Enus Super Diamond. So the Super Diamond is the first one you can bring today. Ooh, the Masacro, a really good sports car right there. The new hijacked Rustin you can bring as well. We've got our first supercar of the day, the Pegassi Infernus, $440,000. Lampadati 4GT, 448. Monroe, 490. Oh, and right at 500, we've got the Grotti Turismo R. Man, that is right on the button right there. That'll be a good one to consider for sure. So those are all the vehicles on the Legendary Motorsports sites. Let's move over to Warstock Cash and Carry. Oh, you can bring the Wastelander. Even though it doesn't have any customization, you could technically bring the Wastelander today. That's actually pretty cool. So the Wastelander is an option that you could do. Is that it? I don't think. Prison Bus is 50,000 too expensive. You could bring, oh, the Dubsa is $1 short, man. Too bad, so sad. You could bring the Barracks if you really wanted to. That could be pretty cool. You could bring a bus, just like a straight up, don't bring a bus. Bring cool cars that you would want to customize. But I'm just saying you could. It fits in that category. Boats, we're not going to be bringing any boats today, but if you're interested in boats, the only ones that apply to us are the Jetmax and the Speeder and the Marquise, whatever it is. So those three right there. Don't bring any boats. Can I bring a sports classic? Yes, Chelsea. If it fits in the $250,000 to $500,000 range, you can bring whatever car you want. And then on Southern San Andreas, let's actually take a look at a lot of these cars right here. They're going to be pretty cool. They're going to have some nice upgrades too. So we've actually got to I can't speak today. We've actually got to scroll down quite a bit in order to get pretty pricey. We might end up going for the most expensive ones first. That might make our job a little bit easier. Let's see. All right. So the first vehicle you can buy today is the Vapid Contender, Pegassi Esky. Ooh, some really good ones here. Dinka Jester Race Car, Pegassi Vortex, the Tampa, the Masacro Race Car, Tornado Rat Rod, Vapid Guardian, Lampadati Pigale, Shih Tzu Defiler, Armored Kuruma. And I think actually, no, you can't get the Armored Kuruma. So the last one would be the Shih Tzu Defiler because the rest are over $500,000. So we're still getting in that. We're still in that budget car range today, guys. We're still in that budget car range, which I think is still pretty cool. Okay, so now it's time for us to pick out some pretty cool vehicles. How about we do that? Okay. So let's start on the Legendary Motorsports site, and let's actually go to. Remember, guys, ignore the discounts. Pretend like the discounts are not there.